Hey guys, it is Sarah and I'm here in my kitchen getting dinner ready. Tonight we are going to have shake and bake pork chops that I have on my medium bar pan and they're already in the oven. We're going to do some broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots in the micro cooker, and whenever I do my veggies like that, I like to put a little bit of garlic infused oil on them and then season them with some sort of rub. So I have those ready to go, but I won't microwave those until after this skinny mac and cheese is ready and the pork chops come out and they are resting. So I thought I would go live and show you guys how easy it is to make skinny mac and cheese. Hey guys, thanks for joining. I'm glad you are here. Haven't been in my kitchen in a while except for yesterday. John Allen was making some popcorn, so I let him go live with that. But anyway, I'm glad all of you guys are here, and if you're about to be driving home, maybe you can watch this when you get home. This is a really easy recipe for making mac and cheese, but it's called skinny mac and cheese because it's not all pasta. There is some pasta in it, but then there's also my new favorite, which is cauliflower. My kids are probably gonna have a fit tonight, although they've had this several times, so they do like it, but they've been making fun of me because since after Christmas, we have done lots of different recipes using riced cauliflower. So the joke in the house is with every meal, where's the cauliflower in this? So it'll be fun tonight, but whatever. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. By the way, feel free to share any of these videos whenever I post them because some of your friends might want to learn some of these new recipes. So I always love those people that share the video, and feel free to ask comments because I will go back and watch, or not watch, look at the comments afterwards and I will reply to them if y'all have questions. So I'm glad that some of you guys are joining and maybe some others will hop on. Okay, so to start with, we have a whole head of cauliflower, but we only need about half of it for this recipe. And I just had washed it and then dried it with some paper towels before I went live. So we're just gonna use half, and I'm going to actually cut this in half again to do one section at a time because that makes it a little easier. If you have never riced cauliflower, there are a couple different ways that you can do that. We are gonna use our veggie strip maker, and I'm gonna use it just right down in the 4-quart rock crock. I feel like the comments are blocking y'all, so hopefully you can see this, I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna use it right in the rock crock instead of having to transfer from one bowl to the next. This makes it really easy. This product can also be used to do zucchini noodles, squash noodles, carrots into strips. I'm trying to think what else. I mainly use mine for ricing the cauliflower. If you don't have this product and you have our manual food processor, that will also work. So sometimes I will use the processor at some of my parties just to show variety. But tonight we're gonna use the veggie strip maker. You can set it directly on top of the rock crock. Let me angle this down a little. I don't know if that's gonna help or not. But you can set this right on top of the rock crock, or you can put it down inside. I'm going to leave it down inside because that kind of helps it from going all over the place. Super, super simple. Kids can help with this. So you're just going to hold on to the piece of cauliflower and then just go back and forth, and it grates it or rices it when you're going in both directions. One thing that's important is keep the core of the cauliflower intact. Don't break this into little florets or whatever they're called because that's going to be hard to hold on to. And I just kind of rotate. Let me get some of this green stem. I thought I got most of it off. I just kind of rotate it and get what I call the meat of the cauliflower off. And then I stop when I get to the core. Like right there, I'm starting to get to a lot of the core, and I personally don't like that part riced. So I end up tossing that. I'm sure there's uses for it, I don't know, but I don't like using the core, another green stem. When you're ricing, you go back and forth, and the veggie strip maker is ricing it both directions. It's just a hard plastic, so you can't get cut using it. That's why it's a good product for kids to help you in the kitchen with it. It's not real expensive. Let me do a little bit more. Oh, I had a big chunk fall off that I don't want in there. All right, so let me show you what that looks like. And I think I may do a little bit more. Let me cut a little more off because I want, you know, I have some growing boys in this house. So let's do just one more little section, except for I just cut off the core on that one, so it's gonna be a little trickier. And this recipe you can find, I'll post it, but you can also find it on my website. Just search for Skinny Mac and Cheese, and you will find it really easy. All right, that's all kind of some stems, so I don't want that. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like. The Veggie Strip Maker is dishwasher safe, so I can just stick it in my dishwasher. All right, so here is our riced cauliflower. I also use this for doing Hawaiian fried rice. I made garlic cheese bread the other day using the Veggie Strip Maker and ricing the cauliflower, and then you just put some mozzarella and Parmesan cheese. That was pretty good. This is 2 cups of elbow pasta. I can't bend it too much or it'll spill. So I just used our 2-cup prep bowl to measure it out earlier today because I had a real big box. So when I was getting stuff ready for this recipe, I thought, well, I'll just measure it out in the 2-cup prep bowl. This is uncooked, so you're going to dump it in with the rice uncooked. No need to cook the pasta. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside, if I can make room, and we're going to make, let me get my cauliflower little pieces out of here. We're gonna do, in this bowl, I have 2 tablespoons of flour, just all-purpose flour. Let me cheat and make sure I've made this a bunch, but let me make sure we're doing it correct. 1/2 cup of milk. Now, in our house, we only drink 1% or skim milk. This recipe sometimes I think is better with whole milk, but I didn't want to buy a whole thing of whole milk just for 1/2 cup, so we're gonna use the skim milk, but I'm using the Easy Read measuring cup to measure out, and what's great about that, I can look from above and see my measurements and make sure I have the right amount. So we're adding our milk to the flour. Then we need 1.5 cups of chicken broth or chicken stock. So I'm just gonna shake this up. Double check that that's right. Yeah, 1.5 cups. Again, I'm gonna use, this is the 2-cup Easy Read measuring cup. They come a set of 1 cup, 2 cup, and 4 cup. So I don't have to do the bend and squat exercise to try to measure out my liquids, and that's really important right now because I'm training for a race and my legs are a little sore from the running that I've been doing. So bending and squatting right now is not my biggest friend. All right, so we have 1.5 cups of chicken broth. We're gonna add that to our flour. And then we're gonna use our stainless whisk. And this is just, I just have our small batter bowl. Love, love, love our small batter bowl. So we're just gonna use this to whisk it and get all the little lumps out of our flour. And I only used the small one because I knew the amount of liquid I was using. This would be perfect. You look on the bottom, make sure I don't have any flour. Okay, and I'm going to pour this over, whoops. I'm gonna pour this over my macaroni. I got a little bit of all that flour out. Didn't mix all the way. Maybe it'll mix in here. All right, I'm gonna mix that up a little. And then we need 2 cloves of garlic that we're gonna slice. A lot of times I will mince my garlic with our garlic press, but this recipe calls for sliced garlic. So what I'm gonna do is use the garlic peeler, which is just a little silicone tube, and then we're gonna use the garlic slicer. These are sold as a set. So my garlic still has the peel on it. So you just slide it down in this little tube, roll it back and forth, and then, well, or let your garlic fall out of it, but roll it back and forth, and then your garlic is peeled. Now, at this point, this is why I don't do peeled garlic very often, because now I'm having to touch the peeled cloves, which means my hands are gonna smell like garlic, which is not my favorite, but I'll just use my sink that's stainless to get that smell off of them. But my cloves are peeled, so I've put it down on either side of the garlic slicer, put the lid on, and I don't know, y'all are not really gonna be able to see this very well, but, well, maybe you can. The garlic is now just slicing through. Scrape it off the bottom. This whole thing is dishwasher safe, so I'll just rinse it out, stick it in the dishwasher. We also have a spiraling slice that's a little bit bigger, somewhat similar, so you can do different kinds of veggies and stuff in there. I learned not too long ago from a fellow consultant that depending on how you slice your garlic, mince it, leave it whole, that determines how strong the garlic will be. So minced garlic is going to be the strongest. Sliced garlic like that's a little less potent, if you want to call it that. And then whole garlic, when you just put it in a recipe, will be the least, you know, that's not going to be as strong, of course, unless you take a big old bite of it. Okay, so all we have in here are cauliflower, our dry pasta, a little bit of garlic, the chicken broth, milk, and flour. We have that all mixed up, and we're going to my Alexa just thought that I wanted her to add all those things to my shopping list, and I did not. I did not say her name, so don't know why she spoke up.
Sorry, I can't tell what you want to order.
See, she thinks I want to order. Anyway, I'm going to pop this in the microwave for about 20 minutes. So we're going to pop that in, and I'm not going to make you guys wait for that, but I am going to stay on just to grate our cheese and tell you what else is going to go in here. So this is going to go covered in the microwave for 20 minutes, so hang tight. Okay, so I have that in the microwave. Now we're going to grate our cheese. Let me clean up my little cutting board and all my little cauliflower remnants. Okay, I don't know how many of y'all use pre-shredded cheese. I know at my parties a lot of times people are using that, and I always encourage people to buy fresh cheese. Fresh is always better. That goes for anything. Fresh vegetables, instead of canned or frozen. Not that they're bad for you, but of course the fresher the better. My biggest thing about pre-shredded cheese is the fact that I'm paying for someone else to shred it, and I'm also paying for a preservative in it called cellulose. And the primary ingredient of cellulose is sawdust or wood fiber. It's a natural preservative, but it's in every kind of pre-shredded cheese. It's that white powdery stuff on your cheese. It takes out all the moisture in your cheese, and when you do that, it also makes it very difficult for the cheese to melt evenly. It takes a lot of the flavor out of the cheese. Yes, it adds fiber to your diet, but I mean, I'd rather get fiber in other ways than eating sawdust. So I am just a big fan of shredding my own cheese. And typically, I will use one of two graters. I forgot to turn off messages, sorry. I'll use one of two graters. This is our microplane coarse grater. And then we also have one that looks just like this, except for the grater on it is a finer, so it's called microplane fine grater. It's a real tiny blade, and that's great for your hard cheeses, like your Parmesan or Romano. I also like using this coarse one to grate my carrots, if I'm doing like baby carrots instead of whole carrots. Instead of doing the veggie strip maker with my whole carrots, if I'm doing baby carrots, I'll use the coarse grater. A little lesson on how to get the handle to unlock, because that's probably the biggest thing that people struggle with. There is a little arrow with a lock on the handle, and people think there's a button over here. There is no button. You just put your thumb on the side and pull the handle towards you. And you can stop where it'll be standing like this, which is what I'm going to do in a minute, or you can do it straight out, hold onto your cheese, or if you're grating chocolate or nuts or anything like that, you can do it straight over a bowl, straight over the salad, whatever you might want to do. It does come, and I'm not using it tonight, it comes with a little piece that will slide on here. You can put the cheese in it with little prongs, hold on to the cheese. That is just not my preferred method of using the grater, but for those that maybe aren't as familiar with it, I would encourage you to use the holder so that you don't slice your fingers until you're used to using the grater. I am just going to use it standing up like this on my flexible cutting mat. The biggest thing I get people to say to me is, it takes too long to shred cheese. It takes, let me turn off that's my pork chops hollering at me. It takes me roughly about 45 seconds to do the entire block of cheese. So it's really not that hard. If you're not going to use the cheese all at once, then put it in one of our leak-proof containers or one of the prep bowls. Store it in your refrigerator and it'll still last for a good while. In my house, we go through cheese like crazy, so there is no need to really save it. All right, so I'm just going to grate this. When the mac and cheese comes out of the oven, obviously, out of the microwave, there's no cheese in it yet. What I'm going to do is put about 3/4 of this down into the mac and cheese, stir that around, and then the rest of it will sprinkle on top, and I'll microwave it for another probably about a minute or two, mainly to just get the cheese to all kind of melt. And as soon as I finish this, I should have had someone time me, and you could have posted how long this is taking me to shred the cheese, because it's not very long. I do get asked what's the trick not to get cut since I'm not using the food holder. The biggest thing that I do when I get to the end of the block, I just straighten my fingers and kind of carefully go over the blade, but I don't know, maybe it's just practice of shredding a lot of cheese. So here's my block of cheese. That was probably less than 45 seconds. This can go in the dishwasher, so it's easy to clean up. I use my cheese graters for nuts, chocolate, the coarse one for carrots, cheese, of course. I do fresh. It's calling me is very persistent. It's Alabaster, which I think is Alabaster City Schools, but we'll call them back. Anyway, so when the mac and cheese comes out of the microwave, which it still has about 12 more minutes, so I'm not going to make y'all wait for that. We're going to put 3/4 of this down into the rock crock, stir it around, and then we are also going to add 1 cup, although I'm doing a little more than a cup because I'm not going to waste any, but 1 cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Very important that you do plain and not vanilla, because that will alter the taste if you do vanilla. But I'm going to add both of these containers of the Greek yogurt. I'm going to do a little bit of salt and pepper. I'll stir all that up, sprinkle the remaining cheese on top, microwave it for another minute or 2, and then my skinny mac and cheese will be done. I'll take a picture of it when it comes out and it is completely done, and I'll post that up under this video. I also will post a link I'll post the recipe so that if any of y'all want to make this, you can. You can also go to my website and search for it. But we're gonna have this with our pork chops and then our broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots that I'm gonna steam in the micro cooker. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this evening. Macaroni has 10 more minutes, so I will post the picture in just a little bit, and I hope everybody has a great afternoon and evening. Don't forget to share this video with all your friends so that they can make skinny mac and cheese. And if there's anyone that needs anything, always feel free to go to my website at www.pamperedchef.biz, B as in boy, I, Z as in zebra, /Sarah McGuire, no spaces. So hope everyone has a great evening, enjoy the nice weather, and see you next time.